Tonight, we delve into the chilling depths of a mind consumed by darkness. This is a story not just of obsession, but of a reality meticulously warped, then shattered. It is a stark reminder of the fragile line between admiration and madness. Our narrative draws its cold inspiration from a real life case that shocked the world in the mid 90s. It explores the terrifying trajectory of a man lost within his own fabricated universe. This is a celebrity stalker narrative, a chilling study in obsessive delusion. The core theme is devastatingly clear: the catastrophic consequences of unchecked obsession. It highlights how easily a disturbed mind can twist perception, creating a personal hell. This story serves as a grim warning about the dangers inherent in celebrity worship. It illustrates the destructive power of delusional beliefs, not just for the deluded, but for those caught in their terrifying wake. We witness the slow, agonizing descent into a darkness from which there is no return. This is a journey into the heart of a nightmare. In the vibrant, eclectic landscape of the 1990s music scene, Claire shone brightly. She was a pop singer, but more than that, an artist whose unique vision captivated millions. Her career was soaring, her influence undeniable. Claire was known for her artistic eccentricity, a fearless innovator who pushed boundaries. Her performances were raw, emotional, and deeply personal, resonating with audiences on a profound level. She poured her soul into her work, and the world listened. Her music transcended borders, captivating audiences worldwide with its ethereal quality. Claire achieved global fame, becoming an icon, a muse, a distant star in the firmament of popular culture. She was adored, admired, and to some, revered. Her public persona was one of enigmatic beauty and profound artistry. She was a figure of fascination, a canvas onto which millions projected their hopes and dreams. But for one man, she became something far more sinister. Luis was a reclusive man living in the sun-drenched anonymity of Miami. He was drawn to Claire's fame, not as a casual admirer, but as a moth to a deadly flame. His attraction was not ordinary fandom, it was a burgeoning pathology. He was not a typical fan who bought albums and attended concerts. Luis was a man who believed he shared a unique, unspoken bond with Claire. His world began to shrink, centered entirely around her distant image. Luis meticulously documented his escalating fixation, a chilling chronicle of his mental decline. He created hundreds of hours of video diaries, a private, disturbing testament to his growing delusion. These tapes were his confession, his manifesto. In these recordings, he spoke directly to Claire, to a phantom presence only he could perceive. He never met Claire in person, never exchanged a word with her, yet in his mind, their connection was undeniable, profound, and deeply personal. Luis constructed an elaborate, fabricated reality where he and Claire shared a profound spiritual bond. He believed their souls were intertwined, destined for a union only he truly understood. His delusion was absolute, unyielding. He interpreted her lyrics, her interviews, her every public gesture as personal messages directed solely at him. Each song was a coded confession of her love, each glance a secret acknowledgement of their shared destiny. The world outside his mind ceased to exist. His apartment became a shrine, its walls adorned with her image, her face staring out from every surface. He lived in a suffocating cocoon of her presence, a self-imposed prison of adoration. Every waking moment was dedicated to her. He penned daily letters, hundreds of them, filled with declarations of love and intricate plans for their future. These letters remained unsent, accumulating like silent witnesses to his escalating madness. They were a physical manifestation of his internal world. Fueled by this fabricated connection, his perception of their relationship grew increasingly distorted. He believed they were already together, that she was merely waiting for the right moment to reveal their bond to the world. His reality was a terrifying fantasy. He built an entire world where she was already his, a world where her choices were his choices, her life his possession. Claire, of course, remained utterly unaware of his existence, never acknowledging the man who claimed her soul. She was a star, he was a shadow. Then came the catalyst, the event that shattered his carefully constructed universe. Claire began dating a man, a public figure, a man of color. This was a normal, public development in her life, but for Louise, it was an unforgivable transgression. The news of her new relationship was widely publicized, a common occurrence in the world of celebrity. For Claire, it was simply living her life. For Louis, it was an act of profound, personal betrayal. His world tilted violently. Louis perceived this relationship as a betrayal of purity, an affront to their sacred, unspoken bond. He saw it as a defilement, a desecration of what he believed was rightfully his. His adoration curdled into bitter resentment. His carefully constructed world, built on years of delusion, crumbled around him. The fantasy of their spiritual union was brutally exposed as a lie, not by reality, but by his own twisted interpretation of it, his devotion transformed into violent intent. The love he professed became a raging inferno of hatred and vengeance. The object of his obsession was now the target of his wrath. His mind, already fractured, broke completely, paving the way for a horrifying plan. Driven by a warped sense of ownership and a thirst for retribution, Luis began to plan. His meticulous nature, once used to document his love, was now turned to a darker purpose. He would make her pay for his perceived pain. He meticulously crafted a letter bomb, a device designed to inflict maximum harm. Every component was chosen with chilling precision, every detail considered. This was not a spontaneous act, but a calculated execution of vengeance. He disguised it as a fan package, an innocuous gift from an admirer. The irony was lost on him, or perhaps it was part of his twisted design. It was meant to be delivered directly to her, a final deadly message. His target was Claire, the woman he believed had betrayed him. His intent was clear, to end her life, to punish her for daring to live outside his fantasy. He believed this act would restore the balance, reclaim what was his. The package was mailed to her record label in London, a city thousands of miles from his Miami apartment. The distance only amplified the chilling determination behind his actions. He was sending death across an ocean. With his deadly package dispatched, Luis turned his attention to his final act. He set up his camera, as he had done countless times before, to document his last moments. This was to be his ultimate statement, his final testament. He filmed himself speaking directly to the lens, to the world, to Claire. His words were a chilling monologue, a descent into the abyss of his own making. It was a final, horrifying glimpse into his shattered mind. He left behind this chilling testament to his obsession, a video diary of his final hours. It was a document of profound psychological disturbance, a window into the mind of a killer. The tapes were his legacy. Then, with the camera still rolling, Luis took his own life. He ended his existence, consumed by the very delusion he had so carefully nurtured. His final act was a desperate, tragic culmination of his twisted reality. The package containing the deadly device was intercepted by vigilant police. A security sweep prompted by an anonymous tip led to its discovery. Claire was saved from harm, completely unaware of the terror that had almost reached her. The bomb was defused, its destructive potential neutralized. Claire remained unharmed, her life continuing, untouched by the dark machinations of her obsessive admirer. She was spared the horror intended for her. Luis's footage, discovered after his death, revealed the true, terrifying extent of his delusion. The hundreds of hours of video diaries laid bare his descent into madness. They were a horrifying record of a mind unraveling. An 800-page diary, meticulously kept, further exposed his terrifying truth. It detailed every twisted thought, every fabricated interaction, every step of his journey into the abyss. It was a chilling blueprint of obsession. The world watched, horrified, as the full scope of Luis's pathology was unveiled. His story became a cautionary tale, a dark mirror reflecting the dangers of unchecked obsession. It was a stark reminder of the shadows that lurk beneath the surface of adoration. In the quiet suburbs of Massachusetts, a family sought refuge. They were chasing a fresh start, a fragile hope after the devastating loss of a mother, gone too soon the previous year. This new house, with its welcoming facade, promised solace, a sanctuary where grief might finally begin to heal. Annie, a young girl still reeling from her mother's absence, believed in this promise. She wanted to believe they were leaving the past behind, stepping into a future unburdened by sorrow. But some shadows, it seems, are not so easily outrun. Some horrors are not left behind. This is a story of psychological horror, a chilling home invasion that blurs the lines between reality and nightmare. It is a tale inspired by the unsettling true events surrounding Daniel LaPlante in 1986, a stark reminder that sometimes the greatest terror lies hidden in plain sight. It started subtly, a creeping unease that Annie couldn't quite place, a feeling that something was fundamentally wrong, a discordant note in the symphony of their new life. Items would be misplaced, small things at first, easily dismissed as forgetfulness or the chaos of unpacking. Then came the whispers, faint, indistinct sounds that seemed to emanate from within the very structure of the house itself, a soft murmur just beyond the threshold of understanding, echoing from behind the plaster and wood. Annie would pause, listening intently, only for the sounds to vanish as quickly as they appeared. Cold spots would manifest in otherwise warm rooms, pockets of icy air that sent shivers down her spine. She tried to rationalize it, attributing these strange occurrences to her grief, to an overactive imagination fueled by sorrow. Perhaps it was just paranoia, a lingering shadow of her recent loss. She fought an internal battle, struggling to reconcile her growing fears with the comforting reality she desperately wanted to believe. But the house had other plans. It was slowly, methodically dismantling her fragile sense of security. One morning, a cryptic note appeared. It lay on her pillow, a stark white rectangle against the muted fabric. The words, scrawled in an unfamiliar hand, pierced through her carefully constructed calm. "I'm still here. Why did you leave me?" The message was a direct violation, a chilling confirmation that her fears were not just in her head. The notes continued, each one a fresh stab at Annie's dwindling peace. They were always cryptic, always personal, always appearing in places only she would find them. Her sense of being watched intensified, a constant, suffocating presence. Objects began to move overnight, not just misplaced, but deliberately rearranged. A favorite toy would appear in a different room, a book left open on a page she hadn't reached. It was a game, a twisted dance orchestrated by an unseen player. The television would flicker to life in the dead of night, its static hum filling the silent house. Annie would wake to the ghostly glow, her heart pounding, convinced she was not alone. The house was no longer a sanctuary. It was a stage for a terrifying performance. Then came the ultimate violation. Her hidden diary, a sacred repository of her deepest thoughts and fears, was found shredded on her desk. The pages, torn and scattered, lay like fallen leaves, each fragment a testament to the intruder's intimate knowledge of her life. This was no random act, it was a deliberate, personal attack. The whispers escalated into distinct sounds, footsteps, not outside, not above, but within the walls themselves. A soft scuff, a creak, the undeniable sound of someone moving through the hidden spaces of her home. The walls, once a symbol of protection, now felt like a cage, holding something unspeakable within their confines. Desperate, Annie's family called the police. Officers arrived, their faces etched with skepticism. They searched, they questioned, but found nothing. No forced entry, no disturbed locks, no evidence of intrusion. The authorities left, their assurances hollow, leaving Annie and her family isolated in their terror. Weeks passed after the police left, their dismissal echoing in the silent house. The family tried to move on, to convince themselves it was over, that Annie's imagination had simply run wild. But the feeling of dread never truly dissipated. It lingered, a cold breath on the back of their necks. Then came the night that shattered everything. Annie returned to her bedroom, the familiar space now imbued with an unbearable tension. What she saw there would forever be seared into her memory, a tableau of pure, unadulterated horror. Standing in the center of her room, bathed in the dim light, was a figure. It was a boy, no older than herself, his face painted with grotesque, childlike strokes. He wore her deceased mother's clothes, the fabric hanging loosely on his slender frame, a macabre mockery of remembrance. In his hand, he clutched a hatchet. This was Daniel. The truth, when it finally revealed itself, was far more terrifying than any ghost story. Daniel had not just been visiting, he had been living there. For months, he had existed within the very walls of their home, a silent, unseen observer. He had navigated the hidden passages, peered through vents, watching their every move, listening to their every word. He had become obsessed, a twisted desire to be part of their family, to replace what was lost: the whispers, the notes, the moved objects, the shredded diary, the footsteps in the walls. It had all been him, a phantom presence, a living nightmare, lurking just beyond their sight, waiting for his moment to emerge. The house, once a symbol of hope, had become a tomb, and the voice in her walls, Annie now knew, had a face that would haunt her dreams forever. In the quiet hours, when the world sleeps, a different kind of terror often awakens. This is a story born from the chilling reality of celebrity stalking, a narrative that plunges into the heart of a home invasion thriller. It explores the profound vulnerability of those who live in the public eye. Inspired by a harrowing true case, this account delves into the darkest corners of obsession. It reveals how a twisted fantasy can shatter the illusion of safety. Prepare to confront the chilling reality of an unseen threat, a shadow that watches and waits. The digital clock glowed 1 a.m., a stark beacon in the profound darkness. Sandra's sprawling home was enveloped in a silence so complete it felt almost sacred. She believed herself utterly alone, safe within her sanctuary. Then, a sound, a subtle, unsettling shift in the air, a whisper of movement that defied the stillness. Her security system, usually so vigilant, remained silent, its watchful eyes unblinking. A cold dread began to seep into her bones. The realization struck with the force of a physical blow. Someone was inside her home. The quiet sanctuary had been breached. Her heart hammered against her ribs, a frantic drumbeat against the encroaching fear. Alone and utterly terrified, Sandra moved on instinct. She scrambled, her breath catching in her throat, seeking the only refuge she could find. The closet, a small dark space, became her desperate fortress. Her fingers fumbled for her phone, the screen a blinding light in the oppressive darkness. With trembling hands, she dialed 911, her voice a raw whisper of desperation. Help was her only hope. The wail of sirens pierced the night, a welcome, if terrifying, symphony. Police swarmed the property, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. They found him inside, a man dressed in black, moving with an unnerving calm. He wandered through her private spaces as if he belonged, a ghost in her own home. There was no panic, no attempt to flee, only a strange, serene confidence. His presence was a violation, his demeanor a chilling puzzle. In his bag, they discovered a notebook, its cover worn from handling. The title, scrawled in a precise hand, sent a shiver down their spines. My wife, Sandra. It was a collection of letters written daily, each one a testament to a profound delusion. The pages detailed an imagined life, a fabricated reality of marriage and shared intimacy. He wrote of romantic trips they had never taken, of children they had never raised. His words painted a vivid picture of a life that existed only in his mind. He believed the world conspired to keep them apart, that their separation was an injustice. His letters spoke of a love so powerful it transcended reality. He was convinced they were destined, that she was his. His planning was meticulous, a testament to an obsession that had festered for months. He had watched her, a silent shadow, observing her every move. Her life, her routine, had become his personal blueprint. He charted her schedule with chilling precision, every departure and return noted. He knew her habits, her patterns, the rhythm of her days. He had studied her life like a scholar studies ancient texts. He had bypassed her security measures with an unnerving ease, a ghost slipping through locked doors. His entry was not a forceful break-in, but a quiet infiltration, a testament to his careful preparation. Crucially, he carried no weapon during the break-in. His intent, in his twisted mind, was not violence, but reunion. He believed he was coming home, not invading. Detailed maps of her home were found among his possessions, each room meticulously labeled. He knew the layout better than some who lived there. His goal, he claimed, was to surprise her with love. His motivation was a perverse blend of love and possession, a desire to claim what he believed was rightfully his. He saw their separation as an injustice, a barrier to their destined union. He was there to correct a cosmic wrong. Sandra's reality was stark, brutal, and undeniable. She had never met this man, never known of his existence until this terrifying night. He was a stranger, a phantom, who had invaded her most sacred space. Yet, in his delusional world, she was my real life, the missing piece of his existence. He spoke of her as if they shared a history, a bond forged over years. The contrast between their realities was profoundly unsettling. This stark difference underscored the terrifying depth of his delusion. His fantasy was so complete, so consuming, that it obliterated any semblance of truth. He lived in a world where she was his wife and he was merely coming home. This story leaves a lingering sense of unease, a cold dread that settles deep within. It is a stark reminder of the profound vulnerability of public figures, their lives often laid bare for obsessive eyes. It highlights the terrifying potential of obsessive fixation, how a twisted mind can warp reality into a dangerous fantasy. The man in the suit, a symbol of this chilling phenomenon, reminds us that some threats are born not of malice, but of a love so distorted it becomes pure terror.